Kansas City working, and we're very proud of both of them. He is also significantly involved in our community in Omaha. He is on several boards and committees. He is currently the president of the board for Girls Inc. He is serving a second term as president. He is working with Empower Omaha as one of the leaders of that organization. He was the chairman of the Von Maurer Victims Fund, and many of you remember that particular horrific set of events that happened at the Westroads, and he was in charge of distributing the monies that were collected for those families. So he's been involved in our community for a long time. How many of you would agree we need change in Washington, D.C.? And John Ewing is the type of individual that will be a terrific congressman for us. He is the type of individual who will stand up for the creation of jobs, not the elimination of jobs. He will stand up for saving Social Security and Medicare, which are not entitlement programs. And that's something he believes very, very strongly in. In growing up in the community, we've seen individuals in our own family that are on Medicare, that are on Social Security, so we know the value and the importance of those programs. He wants to also make sure that education is top quality in our state for our youth, and he'll do what's right for the people. He's not the kind of individual that's going to play politics, but he will do the right thing for the citizens, and we saw his record of that when he was on the police department and also with the treasurer's office. So with that in mind, we need a new attitude in Washington. We need a new outlook in Washington, and we'll get that from John Ewing, our next U.S. Congressman from Nebraska.
So I'm just going to go sit down and tell her thank you. She did a great job of capturing the things that we've talked about as we considered whether or not I should do this. And I just want you all to know that as I've talked to my family, as I've talked to many of you in this room, I am thrilled to be running for Congress from the 2nd Congressional District. I believe it's a great opportunity for us to get back to doing the business of the people rather than doing the business of the Tea Party or any other group. It's very important that we don't let other groups tell us how to lead and how to serve. It's more important that we look at the people of Nebraska and the people of America and listen to what they're saying. And one of the things I promise you is that when I'm representing you in Washington, D.C., I will do just that. I will represent you. I will listen to the people of Nebraska. I will take my marching orders from the people of Nebraska, not anybody else, because I believe you work for the people, not vice versa. So I am committed to going to Washington, D.C. and working for all of you, and I just want you to know that. There's a good friend of mine in the room, and I'm just going to point him out real quick, Tom Warren. We've known each other since we were 6 years old, and so it's always great for me to have his support as a great friend. Obviously, my wife, Viv, she's a great ambassador. She always makes me look good. And then my youngest daughter, Alexandria. So I'm blessed, as well as with our oldest daughter, Christina. So I've been blessed to have a great family, and I'm very proud of them and really committed to making sure that whatever I do, I make them proud. Anytime I receive an award, anytime I receive recognition, one of the things I always ask them is, are you proud of me? And that really means a lot to me. So I'm glad they're here today and supporting me and pushed me when I was thinking about not doing this. Because I have to be honest with you, I'm very passionate about serving the people. But I also recognize that this is a tremendous challenge. So I had to really do a lot of self-examination, really look at the issues and really look at 2nd Congressional District from Lee Terry's hands. I'm in this thing to win. So I'm going to ask for your help. I'm going to ask for your support. I'm going to ask for you to multiply yourselves. Get out and talk to people. Tell people what you heard today if you like anything I said. Tell people how we have a chance to really impact the quality of life for our seniors, for our middle class, and for our young people. This is about the future of America. This is not about anything else but the future of America, and that's why I'm so passionate about running. As I look around and as I talk to the people, they're talking about jobs. Those people who don't have jobs want jobs. Unlike maybe some of the other elected officials in Nebraska, I don't believe they're looking for handouts. I don't believe they're scavenging. I don't believe they're sitting on the wagon just going along for a free ride. I believe people want to work, and I believe it's imperative that we set an environment, that we create an environment with business that incentivizes them to keep jobs in America rather than sending jobs overseas. I believe we need to be more creative in how we do things, because what I see is our trade policies, our trade agreements have not had the desired results for the American people. That means we need to look at what we're doing when we come up with these trade agreements rather than having jobs going across the ocean or down to Mexico or other places. We need to figure out how we can incentivize business to keep those jobs in America so that America can get back to work. One of the stories I got from an individual that I talked to a few months ago was he was talking about the cargo containers and how right now those are being shipped around the country with goods from overseas. And then construction companies and other companies are buying those containers, and they're using them for their construction because it's too expensive to ship them back to different places empty. I say we ought to be filling those trailers up, and we ought to be sending them back to China and sending them back to Korea and sending them back to Vietnam and all the other places with our goods and become an export and not an import. One of the things I also believe is that we need to be looking at the jobs of the future. We need to be looking at green